Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be exploring the ghost town of Dearfield, which was once an all African American farming community. Then later on we're also going to be visiting the grave of the founder of Dearfield, Oliver Jackson. So follow me. Dearfield is a ghost town of the largest black homesteading settlement in Colorado. The town was formed by Oliver Toussaint Jackson, who desired to create a colony for African Americans. He was inspired by Booker T. Washington's autobiography Up from Slavery. In 1910, Jackson, a successful entrepreneur from Boulder, filed on the homestead that later became the town and began to advertise for colonists. The name Dearfield was suggested by one of the town's citizens, Dr. Joseph H.P. Westbrook, who was from Denver. I've actually done a video on Dr. Westbrook, so if you're interested in him, please check it out. The word deer was chosen as the foundation for the town's name due to the British value of the land and community to the town's settlers. 19 settlers trekked to Dearfield in 1911. One of those early settlers was James Monroe Thomas. Some lived in dugouts and burned buffalo chips for fuel. By 1915, Dearfield settlers had constructed 44 wooden cabins on their homestead claims. The first settlers of Dearfield had great difficulty farming the surrounding pasture and endured several harsh seasons. Demand for Dearfield's agricultural products boomed during World War I, creating growing prosperity. Soon more settlers arrived, boosting its population. By 1920, the town had up to 700 residents, 2 churches, a school, and a restaurant. In 1921, the town's net worth was appraised at $1,075,000. After the prosperous years of the 1920s, the Great Depression arrived, and the town's agricultural success significantly declined. Settlers began to leave Dearfield in order to find better opportunities. The Dust Bowl forced most Dearfield homesteaders to seek work in the city. By 1940, the town population had decreased to 12. Jackson desperately attempted to spur interest in the town, even offering it for sale. However, there was little interest in Dearfield. Jackson died in 1948. His niece Jenny, who moved to Dearfield in 1943 to care for her ailing uncle, inherited his property. She was Dearfield's last permanent resident until she died in 1973. A few deserted buildings remain in Dearfield: a gas station, a diner, and the Jacksons' home. In 1995, the town was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1998, Black American West Museum in Denver began to make attempts to preserve the town's site. It is also a Colorado Registered Historic Landmark. All right, so we are about 70 miles northeast of Denver and 30 miles east of Greeley. And we're right here off a busy highway, so I apologize if you hear some cars. But they have this nice monument here. This is Dearfield, Colorado. Colorado entrepreneur and messenger for 3 governors, Mr. O.T. Oliver Toussaint Jackson, filed a desert claim to create the African American agricultural colony of Dearfield in May 1910. Dr. Joseph H.P. Westbrook, M.D. of Denver, proclaimed at an organizational meeting in 1909 that the fields will be very dear to us, thus giving the community its name. The first settlers moved here in 1911, and by 1920, Dearfield had more than 200 residents, 2 churches, a school, and a restaurant, and plans to build a canning factory and college. By the time residents and agricultural experts seriously noticed the diminishing rainfall, eastern Weld County was part of the Dust Bowl, and Dearfield never recovered. In 1946, Dearfield had a population of 1. Today, Dearfield remains a symbol of Western pride and empowerment for many African Americans. In that spirit, this historical marker has been donated by Anadarko Petroleum Corp. And the Greeley Monument Works, September 26, 2010. So there's only a few remaining buildings here. And they have since fenced a few, which is good, because a lot of people have come in here and vandalized it, unfortunately. So I believe this structure was Oliver Jackson's home, where him and his family lived. That also served as like a boarding house and hotel for guests. So you can see it's really not much left. We'll walk around it here. Yeah, and the Black History Museum is trying to preserve a lot of this, so hopefully one day they can get the funding to maybe restore some of these buildings, since there's only a few left. And this one is definitely not much left of this one. Let's see if I can put the camera in here for you. Well, looks like this fence is broken, and you can probably definitely get in there. Yeah, a lot of the wood is just coming off. And then on this side, now I know the old Blacksmith Shop is still open. It hasn't been fenced off yet, so we'll go look in there. There's a piece blown in the wind over there. That's kind of creepy. Yeah, so this was a blacksmith workshop. There is definitely some things falling down over here. There's a bunch of glass and nails. Yeah, and that front part of the area is like really, the roof has caved in. We'll go look at this little part. I didn't want to walk inside there because I don't know what is gonna fall on me, but oh wow. Looks like there's maybe a bed frame here. An old drawer. There's definitely some graffiti in here as well. Go look at this other window. Just someone's shoe on the ground. Oh wow, here's another bed frame. And more graffiti. So it's definitely seen better days, that is for sure. I don't know. See if I can get over here. Oh, wow. There's still like an old water heater. Oh, this was probably, it looks like the bathroom. This might have been another house in front of the blacksmith shop, or maybe it was a blacksmith's house. Where it was. Once the front door. Wow. I think I see some plates down here. There's some clothing, but I don't know where that was from. People have been squatting here, I'm not sure. Oh, I still see an outlet way over there. See if there's anything on this side. It looks like a electrical post. Maybe opened up to the blacksmith workshop. Looks like some barn doors. And this other building, I believe, was used for the gas station and the restaurant here. Ew, looks like someone has pulled this gate down as well, so that's not good. Jeez. They need to come back and fix this fencing, because he definitely can get in here. I don't know what happened if someone pulled these down. We'll walk over to the front here.
So I think this was a service station slash restaurant that was here. Very cool. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see, but there's just a whole row of mailboxes over there off the highway for all the farmers in the area. And there's another view of the blacksmith shop and the house in front that we looked at with all the graffiti inside. And then the service station and restaurant. And then the Jackson's home right over there. Alright, we're gonna head over to Greeley to go check out Oliver Jackson's grave next. Alright, I'm at the Linn Grove Cemetery in Greeley, Colorado, and we're gonna be visiting the grave of Oliver Jackson, the founder of Dearfield. Oliver Toussaint Jackson was born on April 6, 1862 in Oxford, Ohio, the son of former slaves Hezekiah and Caroline Jackson. They named him after Toussaint L'Ouverture, the maroon slave who successfully overthrew the French in Haiti in 1804. In 1887, O.T. Jackson moved from the Midwest to the Denver area, where he worked as a caterer. In 1889, he married Sarah Sadie Cook, aunt of the famous composer Will Marion Cook. By 1894, Jackson had made enough money to buy a farm outside Boulder, which he owned for 16 years. He lived at 2228 Pine Street in Boulder, and in addition to his farm, he began operating the Stillman Cafe and Ice Cream Parlor on 13th Street. In 1898, he became staff manager at the Chautauqua Dining Hall, supervising 70 people and possibly owning the food concession. Jackson also owned and operated a restaurant at 55th and Arapahoe Streets that became famous for its seafood. The eatery remained popular until it closed when Boulder went dry in 1907. Goodness, all the motorcycles are out today. Sorry about that, guys. Now, confusion exists about whether Jackson and his first wife, Sadie, divorced or if she died. In either case, he married Minerva Matlock, a school teacher from Missouri, on July 14th, 1905. In 1908, Jackson returned to Denver, where he began a 20-year career as a messenger for Colorado governors. Before he became ill in 1946, Jackson had been searching for a young black man to keep his dream alive in Dearfield. He told a returning World War II serviceman who had lived with the Jacksons as a boy that he could have the whole thing if he would just come out to Dearfield and run the place for him. The young man's new bride did not want any part of it, so he declined. Jackson's wife, Minerva, died in 1942. When he could not find any willing buyers for the property, in 1943, he asked his nieces, Jenny Jackson and Daisy Edwards, to come to Dearfield. Daisy came for a short time, while Jenny stayed to nurse her uncle in his last years. Illness and age had overtaken Jackson, and in 1946, at the age of 84, he again tried to sell Dearfield with an advertisement in the Greeley Tribune. He had no takers. The land remained in Jackson's possession until his death in a Greeley hospital on February 8, 1948, at the age of 85. He had lived in Dearfield for 38 years. So we're coming up to his grave now. See, it says Jackson, Oliver T., 1862 to 1948. And his second wife, Minerva, 1873 to 1942. And it says founders of Dearfield Town Site and Settlement, 1910. So there is the man who started Dearfield. Hope you enjoyed that video and getting to explore the ghost town of Dearfield and see the grave of its founder, Oliver Jackson. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I'll see you at the next grave. Thanks.